Jack the Ripper was an unidentified serial killer active in 1888 around the Whitechapel district of London, England. The main suspect of Jack the Ripper is Aaron Kosminski. At the time, a 23-year-old Polish barber. He did his gruesome killings for about 10 weeks. In those 10 weeks he killed about 5 women, all sex workers. Jack the Ripper got his nickname from an infamous letter given to the Central News Agency. Written in red ink. Addressed Dear Boss, and signed Jack the Ripper. They aren't sure if the letter is a hoax or not due to the public sending many fake letters into the police station, but in the letter Jack the Ripper says, "The next job I shall clip the lady's ears off." And when investigators found Catherine Eddowes, take note this was after the letter, she was pretty much missing her right ear. This caused the police station to release the Dear Boss letter to the public in hope that someone can recognize the handwriting. Whitechapel is a district in East London. It had unbelievable poverty, rampant crime, and many diseases. Whitechapel in 1888 is what we call the slums. The slums were like hell on earth. When the cops would actually come, they would only venture the streets of Whitechapel in groups. No less than 4 people at a time. It was literally a daily battle for survival. The streets were cold, wet, and full of threats. Especially at night when it was dark and mysterious. Most of the residents were poor, alcoholics, and barely had any money due to overcrowding and unbelievable poverty like I said earlier. Life for women during these times was very hard. In order to make some sort of an income, they would sell themselves to men for a very small amount of money or a stale loaf of bread. In Whitechapel of 1888 there was about 1,200 female sex workers. This is about the time when Jack the Ripper was first making his appearance. Jack the Ripper is mostly famous for his killings of 5 women: Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly. In each instance the victim's throat was cut, and the body was mutilated in a manner indicating that the murderer had at least some knowledge of human anatomy. Jack the Ripper took organs from his victims with him, in several cases the uterus, once the heart, and in the case of Catherine Eddowes the kidney. Mary Jane Kelly was Jack the Ripper's last and more gruesome killing. He did more to her than any of the other victims. The whole of the abdomen and thighs were removed. Her breasts were cut off, her arms were mutilated by several jagged wounds, and the face hacked beyond recognition of the features. The tissues of the neck were severed all round down to the bone. One of her breasts was under her head, the other by her right foot. Her nose, cheeks, eyebrows and ears being partially removed, and cuts on her lip going down to her chin. There is so much more that happened to poor Mary Jane Kelly. After Mary Jane Kelly, Jack the Ripper suddenly stopped killing and remained unarrested and unidentified due to too many police officers and investigators on the case. It is very safe to say he is dead as of today, but those victims and the victims' families never got justice against Jack the Ripper. There have been many books and movies made about Jack the Ripper's history, and how and why he did what he did. You can see them here. Movies at the top, and books at the bottom. Thank you for listening.